episode 3630, How to Love in a One-Sided Marriage.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day, rise and shine. It's the weekend. Are you ready? Come on. All right, it's Relationship Builders, and I know you're thinking, Christiane, I really don't want to work on my marriage. I just want to stay snuggled in. Well, that's all right. Do that with your loved one. How to love in a one-sided marriage. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com, where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Oh, guess what? This episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. And it's also being sponsored by our brand new live event coming to you hot off the press. Okay, I don't have all the details. I really do hope we can sneak one in for March. I do. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm working hard. I mean, you may only get a few days notice, but that's okay. You know, we're going to be practicing this. And guess what? Let me tell you, this virtual live event, like you're going to see me like live. This is not recorded. That means when we're doing things like we can communicate together, it's going to be fabulous. It's going to be a lot of fun, but just stay tuned here. And then we're revamping the website, by the way. I know you're like, Christiane, I just want to snuggle right now. Let me go back under my covers, even if I'm out doing errands on a Saturday. Or maybe, oh no, is it that time? Oh yes, if spring activities kicked in. I know it's March Madness, but in some schools, we're already calming down on basketball, but we're moving into baseball and softball, but there's still snow on the ground. Go figure. I mean, some areas got snow. My mom did. I'm like, you need to go back to Hawaii, but we'll leave that for another episode. All right, so let's get down to it because you've got a lot on your plate, and I do too, but we need to talk about marriage. And in marriage, there are sweet moments of honeymoons, celebrations, and birthdays, right? All the fabulous, whoa, that gives you this glorious kind of tingling, not just in your heart, but like, you know, you get it around your neck and you just kind of feel like, oh, they're my hugs every day. But as two become one over the years, many things shift. Life shifts, you change, your spouse changes, including who loves more or less. How to love in a one-sided marriage. Now, let's be real. Neither of you loves the same. Neither of you show up committed in the same way. You each are unique. You each have a love language. You each need to express yourself in different manners. However, you both love each other uniquely. And at times, it can feel like you're doing everything. Have you been there? Well, if you have, you probably then have led yourself to question, why can't he love me more? Why can't he see what he's doing wrong? What's his problem? What's her problem? I mean, come on. Why do I have to do everything in this relationship? Why do I have to show up? Why do I have to take care of the kids? Why do I have to, take care of the house? I mean, isn't that her job? Or isn't that his job to take out the trash? And on the weekends, it's his job to get up early because I do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Lots of questions. Usually, that lead to not very many answers. And these questions are just a sprinkle of all the doubt you thought of years before walking down the aisle. But now it seems a little too close to reality. Take a deep breath for a moment. I want you to hear this clearly. You need to understand that there are seasons in marriage. You will have the roller coasters that you conquer together. And it will feel beautiful, look beautiful, and you're like, I'm on top of the world, right? You'll have your Titanic moment. But then there will be those lines only for one person. Why does it have to be this way? Well, because relationships ebb and flow. When you bring two people together who want to do life together, it takes work. Like swimming upstream in a downstream world. It's hard, unfair, yes. Lead to divorce, only if you allow it. Marriage is work and love takes action. You have to be willing to go above and beyond. That is your Kiss to Keep It Simple strategy. Go above and beyond. And let me say this, just because you put in all the work doesn't make you better than your spouse. Yeah, I know. I said it. We all have those moments. Oh, look at me. Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm putting in. Yes, it requires more effort and energy on your part, but please don't discount what your spouse is doing. Usually, they are executing only what they know or have been shown. Look at where your spouse came from. What was their upbringing? Did they come from a house that living and getting through? I mean, maybe their parents never divorced, but there's only arguments happening all the time, bickering, fighting, yelling, and screaming to the point where the kids, including your spouse, while growing up, was yelling back, "Stop fighting! No more of this! Don't yell!" And even if you had, or I should say that your spouse had the opportunity to experience a Cinderella finds his prince story, mom and dad just fell deeply in love and there was nothing ever wrong, let me tell you, behind closed doors, something was happening. And your spouse probably felt the stress at times. In fact, it might have been even harder because they didn't know what to expect because it was all behind closed doors. Now, those are two extremes, right? Then you can factor in verbal abuse, physical abuse, even spiritual abuse. There's so many things that happen, and you've got to take into account where your spouse came from, where you came from. And then you're coming together and you're like, and we're supposed to do this right? No wonder we've got a messed up world because we're all messed up. We're a hot mess, but we get to say yes. And that's the difference here. Go above and beyond. I can definitely remember times in our marriage when I felt like I was married only to myself. Sometimes, yeah, it's fabulous. You don't have to ask anybody for anything. You just do it. And I'm not saying that was good, though, yet it was reality. And if you can look at things with clarity in your reality, then you can deal with the season you are in better and get out on the other side closer. You can be better together. But a lot of times you have to go above and beyond. You can't just sit back and stay snuggled up the way you want to. The snuggles may look a little bit different. So what does it look like in the real world of marriage? Number one, you got to know the season so you show up with a reason. You got to show up with reason. Just as fall moves into winter, you can prep your plants, trees, and grass for the cold that's moving in. It's part of the growth cycle. Marriage is the same way. There will be times when it's going to take all of you. And if you're willing, then it becomes easier actually to live out with that clarity of knowing your position and getting through the season. You won't be there long. Just hold on. You really got to know the season so you show up with reason. You've got to understand and say, okay, maybe it's a health crisis. Well, probably not a good idea to sit there and be bickering at each other of who's taking the trash out, right? I mean, when I was diagnosed with double pneumonia, I could barely get to the bathroom and back without feeling so fatigued. Do you think that would be the right time for my husband to say, could you clean the dishes today? Could you go and take out the trash? And oh, by the way, the dog needs to go to the vet for his yearly. Can you do that? I mean, that's kind of rude, honestly. It's like you're saying, oh, well, you know what? What you're doing, really doesn't matter. But it does matter. Know the season so you show up with reason. Number two, give grace in the midst of chaos. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. Nothing. Let me tell you, right now, I'm still living in piles. How long have I been talking about this? In marriage, you're going to have piles. You're going to be put in forced renovations where you have to do things differently. So if you're going to go above and beyond, you've got to give yourself grace, give your spouse grace, give grace to the family, give grace to the dog, give grace. There's no other way around it. Otherwise, you will be the one hurt the most because your emotions that harbor the feelings of, why can't he do more, will turn into resentment and bitterness in your heart. And that's a whole other mountain to climb. So you've got to be willing to give grace, even in the midst of chaos. Number three, express what you need at the right time. Timing is everything. In the digital space, a phrase is thrown around, content is king. All right, you got to have content out there. Think about Netflix, okay? You can relate to it this way because if you're not doing what I'm doing and you're not on the digital space, you're like, okay, this means nothing to me. But you understand this. Netflix, right? You go to Netflix, there's a show. If they only had one show on there, only one, do you think Netflix would be as big as it is? No. It wouldn't be as big as it is because they have binge-worthy content. Good stuff that locks you in. Why? On a Saturday, on a Sunday, on a day off, when what? You have nothing else better to do but to sit and pull up your tablet or put it on the TV and stream and watch one show after the other, after the other, after the other. Oh, and then when you're done with that whole season, guess what? You move to another show because there's binge-worthy content. Content is king. In marriage, timing is king. If you have concerns about money, it probably is not a good idea to talk about it right before bed. Do it when you both are well rested. If you feel like you're holding down the fort with no help, that's a fair concern. I'm not discounting that either. But don't bring it up in a discussion involving who's picking up the kids. It's not the right time. And just because we have technology at our fingertips, listen. Please listen to this. Just because we've got technology, we can text, we can send voice, we can send videos, we've got social media galore. It does not mean you can say anything anytime. Remember, timing is everything. So express what you need at the right time. Be strategic. Yeah, marriage, there's strategy in having a good marriage. Marriage is work and love takes action. Don't let the excuses of your personal wants get in the way of creating the best relationship between two people. You are better together. The one-sided marriage, it's not going to last forever. It's a season. You will feel it. Now, we could spend a lot more time on the one-sided marriage where there's abuse involved, but that is not what we're talking about here. Okay? So please understand that. The one-sided marriage is one of the things where it's like, I feel like I'm doing everything. And at times you will be. So be patient. Express your concerns and be willing to go above and beyond. You can have a beautiful marriage and love deeper every day. Go in peace, my friend. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.